Hello there, Brett Sheldon here from Your Business World, and welcome to today's networking event review, where we're going to be reviewing Mingle from Talk Networking. Okay, so the networking event review series has been created off the back of based off requests from our members, where I'm constantly asked about other events going on, which events should I be going to, and how can I maximise my networking efforts. I thought, well, why not share this? If our members are actually finding that this would be of help, well, perhaps other business owners around the country, well, they could do the same thing. So this series was born. So hopefully you enjoy it. What I need from you are a couple of things. First of all, I need your feedback. Let me know if you like this style of video. Let me know about any events you would like me to go and review. And as always, with anything on YouTube, this is a brand new channel. So if you can basically like and subscribe, that would do us the world of wonders. So let's go straight over to the review. So I'm going to cut to me and let's start talking about the event itself. Okay, so Mingle from Talk Networking. If you've not come across this before, Talk Networking is a company owned by a lovely lady called Felicity Francis. She's a force of nature. Some of the events that she runs, my God, I know that I couldn't run them in the way that she does. She's absolutely brilliant. So Felicity, yes, I'm still in love with you. Don't tell my wife, anybody. And now Mingle is one of her styles of events. She runs 4 different styles of event, and this one is run twice monthly. It's run on, I believe it's the first Tuesday of the month and the 4th Thursday of the month, 12:30 till 2:30. It's a 2-hour event. It's held on Zoom, and the cost is £15 plus VAT, which is not too bad at all. And I first heard about Talk Networking about a year ago when I was introduced by one of our members, Lisa Billingham, who said, "Brett, you must go to this event. This is absolutely fantastic, and there's different things and blah 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 blah." And I said no for ages, and then I think it was November last year I went to my first Talk Networking, and first I'd ever met Felicity. And like I say, I'm in love with Felicity. Felicity, hopefully you share the love this way too. So, have I been to these events before? Yes, I have. And the history of this event, from what I know, Talk Networking started as an in-the-room networking experience, and that they've been going for years and years and years, long before COVID. And just the same as us, when COVID hit, they had to pivot and they started running online events. This event, I know that Felicity's won awards for it because she uses an algorithm behind the scenes to ensure that you can speak to the maximum number of people that is possible on any given day. And it's limited, or basically it's actually fixed at 30 people. I think it's 70% of the people there you will get to speak to. It's a phenomenal basic effort on that basis, and I can say that from experience because I run an event very, very similar, and I use a matrices, so it's more variable. And honestly, they're a nightmare, absolute nightmare. But she does a phenomenally good job. So let's go on to the format of the event. Okay, so the format is actually relatively simple from your experience level. Felicity, as I mentioned, she has to do a hell of a lot of work behind the scenes. But from your perspective, what you actually end up having, it's basically there's some maths, there are breakout rooms, and it's held on Zoom. You will go to 7 different breakout rooms. You'll speak to 70% of the people there, and in each room you'll have a 1-minute elevator pitch and a little bit of time at the end for a bit of an open discussion. And that's how it works. And when basically the breakout room finishes, I think it's about 10 minutes from memory, when you're actually in the breakout room, you then come back and there's a very brief discussion while Felicity then sets up the next rooms. Has to be done manually, trust me, I know this. And yeah, it works very, very, very well. Okay, so who's there? So the people at the event are generally very small business owners. You do get a lot of lifestyle businesses. You don't see many people from large companies. I don't think I've come across many at all from that. So generally talking your owner operators, you are talking your smaller businesses, perhaps small limited companies where there's a couple of partners or a couple of directors in the business and perhaps a couple of staff. That's the kind of people that you will have, and they will be from around the country. Talk Networking is Lincolnshire based. Obviously I'm in the West Midlands, but I've spoken to people there from Scotland, from London, but there's a general bigger base around that Lincolnshire area because that's where their roots were. So what did I think of the event? Well, I'm going to be honest, and this is where I'm going to be a little bit divisive, okay? I may upset some people on this. So, first of all, I'm not the biggest fan of this event. Not because of what Felicity's done, this is a phenomenal event from that basis, but it's because of the elevator pitches. And I've got this thing about elevator pitches and how, especially inexperienced or old school networkers use elevator pitches. And there's a hell of a lot of them in there. I mean, elevator pitches are a lot like Marmite. Some people say if you're not pitching it in an event, it's not an event. Well, they're wrong, but you just can't change the mind of some people. But you'll end up doing 21 elevator, or rather, so you will listen to 21 elevator pitches and you'll do your elevator pitch 7 times. So that is tiring, especially when a lot of people won't have a Scooby-Doo of what an elevator pitch is all about. But on the plus side, you end up speaking to 21 people. That's impressive. That is really pushing what is possible to the nth degree. That is really, really good. This is an event where I'm torn. Also, as well, if you're somebody who knows what to do with an online event, the potential of this event is unbelievable, especially as Felicity will send through the delegates list after. So, like I say, I'm torn on this. What do I think about this event? It's a good event. It is phenomenally well run. If you just take it on the elevator pitch alone, I'd mark this, or the elevator pitch section of this, I'd mark it 2 out of 5. I'm just not a fan. Yes, I've said this channel or this video series will be impartial. I'm just not a fan of it. So I'd only give that 2 out of 5. If you mark it on the fact that there's 21 people you speak to, 5 out of 5 all day. That is unreal. And if you could really start going down to, well, basically, how well this is run, and off the back of it, if I could give it 6 out of 5, I would. I really, really would. Felicity, this is phenomenal. So overall, I'd give this event a solid 4.5 out of 5. Okay, so some tips for maximising this event. So, as I mentioned before, this is a very fast-paced event. So the first thing you need to do is to be prepared. You're going to be there for 2 hours, and you are expected to be there for the full 2 hours as well. So make sure you have plenty of drinks. I always have a cuppa, and I normally have obviously a big glass of juice, and normally I've got a bottle of water in reserve just in case. But let's face it, I go to a lot of events. So make sure you're prepared. The second thing I would look at is, if you can, work with 2 screens or 2 devices. It's really, really handy for this style of event to have LinkedIn on a second screen. I normally have my main computer is here. This is where my main screen is, and I always have LinkedIn up on the other screen, because when somebody of interest comes in, you can quickly search for them, find them, and basically you're ready to go with any kind of introductions or anything you want to do off the back of it. So that's a handy thing to do. The other thing you would need is a notepad. You will need to make notes. Like I say, it's very fast paced. There'll be people who've said something that might be of interest. It's a case of make sure you've got a notepad on the go. Personally, I use electronic notepads these days, so I've always got those notes to come back to, but you need to have that. The other thing another top tip for you is to reverse your elevator pitch. If you're the standard kind of person who say, "Hi, my name is Fred and I'm an accountant. Today I'm going to talk about VAT," just don't do it. Just don't do it. Save everybody's life on that one. Just don't do it, because in reality, elevator pitches, when they're fast, basically coming around very, very quickly, nobody's really bothered about what you do. They're more interested about them and what they sell and what they can sell to you. So instead, like I say, reverse engineer it. Very briefly talk about what you do. If you're an accountant, proudly say you're an accountant. Just keep it brief. Then talk about the problems you tend to be solving at this moment in time. So for instance, for us, one of the big things that we're talking about on a regular basis, we're getting introduced to a lot of networkers who are doing a lot of activity, but not getting much bang for their buck. And that's one of the problems that we're solving. Now, when I mention that in a networking environment, that triggers grey cells. Because in reality, what you should be looking to do is to sell a conversation with somebody. Not sell anything, but you were looking to get a conversation away from this environment, and by triggering something, you can actually manipulate that. And the final tip for this event is that when you go into the breakout rooms, pitches will be in alphabetical order, and that's alphabetical by your first name. So if you happen to be a Tim or a Yvonne, good for you, you'll be last to go. So you have the ability to tailor your elevator or your 60 seconds to whatever the room is generally talking about, or the people in there. I'm a B, so I'm being a Brett, so I'm screwed. Basically, I have to use something generic and guess the kind of people who are there. Right, so links for this event and the dates of the next event. As I've already mentioned, this Mingle from Talk Networking is held on the first Tuesday and the fourth Thursday. The way you book it is via their website. I have put links in the description to these events. I'll also put a link as well to their LinkedIn channel, or their LinkedIn page, sorry, because it's well worth connecting. There's a lot of chat after the events as well, so quite often it'd be a handy resource to have. And like I say, make sure you've connected Felicity as well. She's she's a wonderful lady. I mean, yeah, trust me, I love Felicity. In reality, I think it's a bit of incest. I think we might actually be related. But anyway, it's a case of what they're doing is phenomenal. Okay, and finally, the big question is, would I go to this event again? So, even though I've mentioned that I'm not a fan of elevator pitch style events and the way that I have been to this event on more than one occasion. It is a very, very, very good event. The fact is, you are going to speak to 21 people. Now, I know with online events as well, people say, well, how much is this? £15 is not much money at all for this kind of event. The amount of work. Event organisers, by the way, also have to make a living, okay? It is not much money at all off the back of it. It is a very, 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 very good event. If you've not been to it before, it's well worth trying out, and yeah, it's a case of, but please remember, this may not be for everybody. So thank you very much for listening. Hopefully that's been of use for you. I will be reviewing the other Talk Networking events as well, because the other events they run are the online, which is the big pitch, where basically it is a massive round of elevator pitches. Crikey, if you've not been to that, crikey, you need to try that one out. They have VIP, which is a mini mastermind style session, and they also do tables, which is run on something called a platform called Remo, but I've never been to that one, so I will review those and obviously give feedback as well. If you would like to see our last review, that was on the what's it called? Oh yeah, the Breakfast Club by TNC. There will be the link up the top, and please remember, if you can give this channel if you can subscribe, click the bell icon. Standard YouTube stuff. This is a brand new channel. The early reports from what we've had from our members, where we feed this information through other platforms, people can't seem to like it. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.